much as I used to, so I only take 3 Advil now instead of 4 for a headache. Because I've lost 30 or 40 pounds. So, I don't need as many. Hey, Debbie. Hope you're feeling good. I'm about to start drinking caffeine. I just don't want to take what might be a headache and turn it into a full-blown headache, you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and... Hey, Ken. Hippie chick. Doc loves me. Maybe he'll come to say, hey, Steve. Maybe he'll come to the show. And we'll see him. That would be great. Brian. Hey, Nay. How you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful sunny day. Well, it's a smoky day today. So, it's sunny but smoky. I'm not outside because I can smell smoke. There's a new fire in Reading. Hey, there he is, Doc. Doc Hollandaise. That's why I went live, because of you, buddy. I just have not been feeling it, guys, lately. And Doc gave me a nice tweet. He said, I love you, man. That's all. Matter of fact, it's more than all, brother. You podcast 3 times a day, and I have to charge my phone 3 times a day. You really have gotten me through some difficult times. My sister died in my arms, even though I thought it would never. And then it just kind of ends right there. But, Hollandaise. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I saw that, and I was like, yeah, okay, I will go live. You guys, if you guys would just fucking do that, you know, just take a second out of your busy days to motivate me, it goes a long way. And it's top of the hour, so let's get into that. I think there's something left in this. I'll give it a shot. No longer going to cannabis. Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody. Three viewers. Who are my 3 viewers? Everybody type a 1 in the chat right now. It's crazy. People don't want to see a fucking nice-ass nighttime girl update or, you know, crazy. 3 people are here. No, we can't do better than 3 viewers, bro. This is my show and where it's gone. You know, one of my channels goes down and everybody loses their shit. You know? So only Hippie Chicken Doc hit 1. It says I've got 3 viewers. Wonder who the 3rd person is. That won't hit 1. I love you, Beazle. You, Beazle. You're beautiful boy. Yeah, you're beautiful. I love you. Hey, Josh. Okay, so we got Hippie Chick, Doc, and Josh. It says there's 8 people now. But only 2 people hit 1. Look, if you're watching this show, press 1 in my chat right now. So I can see who you are. If you're watching the show, press number 1 in my chat right now. That includes you, Josh. Everybody, press number 1. Josh, thank you. Who else? Who's going to hit number 1? Brian Munoz. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Docky's going to get some of his friends here. Those are the best kind of friends, and the friends that Docky brings. Thank you, Doc. I hope your friends show up. was just watching War Games with Matthew Broderick. I was really enjoying that movie. Got about 3/4 of the way through it. The ending is the best, so I'm saving that. But they filmed that movie really well. I mean, they really knew what they were doing. That movie was just done so good. Really good tension and release, and bad guys getting theirs, and it's just cool, man. It's a good movie. Hey, Karen. Peace. What's up, buddy? Want a cookie? You want me to get you a cookie? Let me get you a cookie. Oh, how about 2 cookies? You want 2 cookies? I'm gonna get you 2 cookies. 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 Got something in my eye. Christopher Smith is your beach bro from culinary school. One of my mom's favorite movies as well. We only butter our corn with bread now. Funny. A thunderstorm. This is raw. This corn is raw. I know, can't you just taste the vitamin A and D and the minerals? Yeah, because it's raw. Hey, can we take vitamins and cook the corn? He's got some pretty good lines. Dad's got some pretty good lines in there. No rain in San Diego. Hope they're getting that fire out in Redding. I can see the fucking smoke from it, pretty sure. Could smell it this morning. We're getting to that time where they're just going to let them burn, man. You're just going to have to move. You have to move with the times. You're going to have to migrate. But for you, in your head, it won't be migration. We don't view ourselves when we move as migrating, even though many of us are. We're moving to improve our living conditions. We're moving where the resources are. We're moving away from the natural disasters. Right, Josh? Doc Holland, it's very nice of you to bring your friends in here. I love you, bro. All of your friends that you have in real life are very lucky to have you as a friend. It's nice, man. I wish some of my friends would show up to the show. Ask me a question, have a bong rip with me, compliment me on my physique. That would be great. Did you guys see that plank I held earlier today? I'm not even fucking around now, bro. You want to go outside again, Bees, or I can let you outside. You want to go outside? Go, Bees. No? You gonna stay in? Stay inside. Oh, you're going outside, huh? Go on. Go on, Bees. Go on, you and Harles. Go outside. Go ahead. He just looked up at me with those fucking cutest little eyes, dude, and the saddest little eyes. Oh, man. Freaking dog. You were working it, Nay. You ate, not playing around, and I respect that. You ate. Nay, you got the tiger blood, that's for sure. Incredible transition in what, 2 months or less? I don't know, man. I wasn't really... I mean, I went to Florida, so that was May, right? June, July, August, September. So yeah, 3 months. I've been doing this over a period of like 3 months. I've been taking it seriously over 3 months, and I haven't even really been trying. Doing these is as far as I'm concerned, it's not even... It's not even trying anymore for me. I gotta do so many reps now. And I feel like I'm kind of getting soft because I need more weight to work with, or I need more reps or something, or I need more exercises. But after this morning's show, I did some, and I pulled up my shirt. You know, I was looking at my stomach muscles, and I'm feeling really good about them, man. I also am feeling really good about my love handles going down too, because that's part of it. You can't have a six-pack and love handles. They don't jive. They're hiding it, you know. That fat is hiding those muscles. Moving in a circle. Yeah, with my legs. Yeah, I do that. I'm just too close to the table to do it. Dana Christine is a badass nurse. The dangers of COVID. Okay, Doc. They're just, they're gonna watch from afar. They don't want to get muddy with us. It's too bad. 4:15, quarter of the hour. All right, let's smoke quarter of the hour, and then it'll be 4:15 and 4:20 in 5 minutes. Nice. The bowl gets dirty so fast. All right, let's pack that bowl. Hey, Elizabeth Gordon is back. She loves me. Hi, Elizabeth. You were really enjoying the guitar earlier, weren't you, hon? I like people like you. I need more fans like you. People who like it when I play guitar, man. Jeez. This could just be the Nay guitar hour every day. If I had more fans like you. Okay. I wrote some pretty cool songs this morning on this morning show. You guys want to hear them? I wrote a song that sounded like it was AC/DC. It's pretty cool. Did some medley shit. It's pretty cool, I think. I got that Bride of Frankenstein shit going on back there, don't I? That white stripe. Psst, nobody's even doing white stripes anymore, pal. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis is a for all. Cheers, everybody. Doc Holland, this is your show, buddy. All of your friends are going to be here. Doc Holland, this is your live. Oh, good kafefe. That's good kafefe. All right, so I did have some things to discuss. They kind of slipped my mind when I started the show. Things that were going on. So let me see if I can refresh my memory here. I'll bring up the news and see what's going on. Michael Williams died of an accidental overdose, medical examiner says. Yeah, what was the overdose of what? I mean, aren't all overdoses accidental? Fentanyl, fluorofentanyl, heroin, and cocaine. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. You know, you look at a guy like that, and you think, he's got it all. Hollywood actor, good looking, tough looking dude, cool, talented as fuck. You know, you figure that guy could basically go anywhere and just get the red carpet treatment as soon as people realize who he is. And sometimes that's not what brings you happiness. Sometimes you'll never find happiness. And if you base your life on being happy, then that's not going to work, is it? So maybe sometimes it's better to just be satisfied at a lower level of happiness than what you think you should be achieving. Lowering your standards, your happiness standards. Hey, it sounds like a bad thing, but it can save your life. It's saved my life. There was a time in my life when I felt like I had it all. I felt like I could do anything. I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like those days are kind of over. It's kind of passed me by, and I'm glad that I did take advantage of it while I was younger. I am. I'm so glad. I had so much fun, and I did everything I wanted to do. I took risks. I almost died for taking some of those risks, and it was worth it, man. I enjoyed it. I'm lucky. But as I've gotten older, I've discovered that, you know what, man? That level of happiness that I used to long for, it's no longer required to be the bar for my happiness. And I can find happiness in just looking at my dog and meeting his stare. I find happiness in looking outside at the sun setting. I find happiness in organizing my dab tray. I find happiness in a good cup of coffee. You know, we're doing an Alex Jones impersonation and making you all laugh. You know, having one of the cute girls come in here flirt with me. That makes me happy. And I'm good. I'll make it another day. You know? Sometimes you're just sick. You know, sometimes you're not well. Sometimes you have something going on inside your brain, and the melatonin or the serotonin or however the fuck this shit works, you know, it's not flowing properly. I realize melatonin is skin pigmentation. My bad. Serotonin's not flowing. The adrenaline's not going. The estrogen, the testosterone. You've got a chemical imbalance. You know, sometimes there's just a little pill you can take, maybe once a day, maybe once a week, whatever, that can help you get over some of these things that you might perceive as your body being broken, when all you really need is to be like so many other people out there who have found a medication that can help them. And for me, it seems to be cannabis for almost everything. Happy 420, everybody. Speaking of which, let's smoke. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't tisms for all. Let's demonstrate a little cannabis use right now, okay? 3 minutes late for 420. Wait. Priorita. Look who's at the door. We've got a Priorita arrival. Oh, did somebody come with you? You two are so cute. Look at the two of you. Hi. Oh, is your ear dirty? You need a little ear cleaning there, buddy? Alright, well, we're smoking 420. I think you'll be alright. You alright? We're going to smoke 420, buddy. Alright. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism, tisms for all. Cheers, everybody. This camera is just being so weird today. It's just... Oh, I think I've reversed the cameras. So this one's like zoomed in and closer. I gotcha. Oh, get out of my face, man. I don't like that. Psst. 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 No law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism, tisms for all. Cheers, everybody. You hate it, but it's needed. 5, yeah? Your friends are popping in, but they're not talking, huh? A gravestone missing for almost 150 years was being used as a marble slab to make fudge. Who the motherfucker is that ripped that stone out and decided to make fudge on top of it? That is so fucking weird and stupid. Who does that shit, man? That is so disrespectful. Cars used in Mad Max Fury Road movie up for auction. Huh. That'd be fun, driving around in a Mad Max car. You play the video game Mad Max? What? Masks in school help prevent COVID outbreaks and spread, CDC study finds. Yeah. Who told you that? Make your kids wear masks. Don't send them to school. Masks in school help prevent COVID-19 outbreaks. Huh. Oh, but it might just stop only a droplet. But if you think you're getting the level of a protection that people believe, you would be mistaken. Whatever. Now Fauci's been proven to be a liar. Masks do work, and Fauci is a fucking liar. The CDC study proves it. One study in Arizona showed schools with no masking requirement were about 3.5 times more likely to have a COVID-19 outbreak than schools that have
we asked viewers for
universal requirement.
Media, and they certainly had a lot of them. So let's get right to our viewers.
Okay.
Just saying. Just saying, guys. Almost went to jail for that. James, Near, I love you, buddy. Doc, why won't any of your friends speak when they come into the chat? Isn't that weird? They'll come into the video and you invite them in, you're talking to them, and none of them are talking back to you? Oh, there he is, James. Oh, well, James Near, thank you for actually speaking back to my buddy Doc Holland. There you go. He invited you here for a specific reason, James Near. Do you know what that reason is? You know why you got invited here? To witness the greatest spectacle on earth, Nays Garden. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show, bro. Several teachers and students in youngest niece's school got COVID. They all supposedly had masks. In youngest niece's school got COVID. Elizabeth Gordon. Yeah. It's not a silver bullet, Elizabeth. It's not a silver bullet, but in a school where everybody's wearing them, there's a 3.5 times less likely chance of there being a COVID outbreak. So, I don't know. I'll go ahead with the CDC study. 2 studies released on Friday, the agency's recommendation for universal indoor masking in schools. Oh, 2 studies released Friday support the agency's recommendation for universal indoor masking in schools. 2 different studies. A second study showed counties across the U.S. where schools required mask use also had less transmission of the virus in the community in general. See? Because kids are little virus spreaders. I told y'all. That's why hopefully you've been watching my show. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis is just for all cheers. Thank you, Karen. When I play Jimmy Dore in here, my audience members leave. But thanks, ladies. Actually, when I play any podcaster on here, my audience members leave. So, I guess you guys are just here to see me. And while I'm not okay with that, I will accept that that is the way it has to be. I'll accept it. So, you got me. What do you want to talk about? The study looked at data covering 1,000 K-12 schools in Arizona's Maricopa and Prima counties, which are more than 3/4 of the state's population. A school was considered to have a masking requirement if all people were required to wear a mask indoors, regardless of vaccination status. And those are the schools that did better. Those are the schools that did better. Those are the schools that did better. The ones that wore the masks. Those are the schools that did better. The children didn't get sick, or the communities didn't get sick, or those people wore their masks. Look at that. Karen McDonald's a power user. She's watching Jimmy and me. You are a power podcast user, Karen. Give you credit for that. Considering how shitty my audience numbers have been, I can't afford to go over to Jimmy Dore right now and lose fucking 7 people who won't watch because I'm watching Jimmy Dore. So I'll have to stay here and entertain my audience. Can you maybe talk about your indoor grow setup? Just get sodium, high pressure sodium bulbs, 1,000-watt, 3 of them in the enclosures with 2 centrifugal fans. One's pushing and one's pulling. One brings air from the outside and pushes it through my 3 1,000-watt enclosures. The enclosures they're designed to go like this, but you turn them sideways like this, hanging up, right? The lights are like this, right? They're facing downward, and the hose goes from here. But instead, you turn them 90 degrees like that, and you got to run a hose like this, and you run a hose like that. You got to use more hose. But your lights create these sweet spots now because you've turned the enclosure sideways. Or you just find a square enclosure that broadcasts light all directions, and then you don't have to worry about that. But they're usually rectangular for the bulb, and they make them too big, you know, and they take up too much space. So they're rectangular to save space. I have an indoor air conditioning, you know, a window air conditioner that's in the wall that exhausts into the bathroom next to the grow room. And I keep water in there. There's a timer in there that waters the plants. Every hour they get about 10 seconds of water, just a little drip. Not all the pots get it. Almost all of them do. It's enough to keep them alive if I can't make it to a watering or something until I can get in there and put water on all the plants. Generally, I go in there, if I'm in a hurry, I can just water like 6 or 8 of those plants, and I'll be good, because the rest are getting watered. High-pressure sodium is the flowering light, bro. That's what you use for flower, high-pressure sodium. Metal halide for veg, high-pressure sodium for flower. Flowering wants yellow light. $100,000 people a day. The Big E, I've never heard of that. The Big E. They call it the Big E. Yo, Kevin, what's up? His title says AOC's word salad for voting present funding Israel's. Yeah, I mean, who cares? Who cares what AOC has to say? Fuck her. She's not worth our time anymore, man. I'm sad that he feels like he has to devote more time to her. She is the next Nancy Pelosi, man. She's a young Nancy Pelosi in training. She don't give a fuck about you or me or anybody. And the only reason she's doing what she's doing is so she can enrich herself off of our backs. She wants to be Nancy Pelosi. She wants $200 million. And that's all it is, folks. She's greedy and wants money. She doesn't want to change the world. She wants to change her bank account. She's not a millionaire yet, and she will be soon. Watch. And she's going to be a multi-millionaire real soon. Because she's going to play ball with all the industries. She can get all that insider information. She's going to make all the right moves with her fucking stocks. You'll see. I have a feeling she'll get beat. But let's see what happens. I think people are going to see right through her phony bullshit. You know? Let's move on. She's the last person I really want to be talking about right now. Such a little attention cunt. Such a dumb little cunt bitch. Little fucking attention cunt bitch. Oh, look at me, look at me. Look at my white dress with the red stuff on it. Oh, look at me. Oh, let me pose. Oh, I'm so popular right now. Let's talk about something else. Let's move on. Let me see what's on the YouTube channels here. See what people have been talking about. He's got this Nick Fred Hampton guy on every fucking show. The guy's an idiot. He's got nothing to offer. I can't believe Jimmy Dore puts this guy on every fucking show now. What the fuck is that all about? Jesus Christ, Jimmy. The guy is fucking bringing you down, man. I'm literally not watching you right now just because of that guy. Wow. Fucking pot, weed, marijuana douchebag motherfucker. Huh. Whoa, what's this? Can you fix climate change? In a word, no. 15-minute video.
Never before in human history have we been richer, more advanced, more powerful. And yet, we feel overwhelmed in the face of rapid climate change. It seems simple on the surface. Greenhouse gases trap energy from the sun and transfer it to our atmosphere. This leads to warmer winters, harsher summers. Dry places become drier and wet places wetter. Countless ecosystems will die while the rising oceans swallow coasts and the cities we build on them. So why don't we just, prevent all of that? Well, it's complicated. The public debate about stopping rapid climate change often focuses on a few key features like coal plants, cars, or burping cows. And so the solutions are often simplistic. Rows of solar panels, biking to work, something sustainability.
Dude!
Is personal responsibility.
Right. Something circularity now. Though they've come up with their new word, fucking circularity cunts. Funny, right? Sustainability.
should change your lifestyle to rows of solar panels, biking to work, something sustainability. And a huge talking point is personal responsibility. How you should change your lifestyle to prevent
that'll
climate
stop
change,
climate
which we'll find
change.
out together
Become a
in the next
vegan.
few
That'll
minutes.
fix everything.
This is one of those videos where we want to encourage you to watch to the end, because to discuss real, doable solutions, we first need to understand the problem.
Exactly. The problem is we can't fucking fix it. That's the problem. There's nothing we can fucking do.
A fuller picture.
Let's see what this guy says.
Modern industrial society, as we constructed it in the last 150 years, is inherently destructive to the planet.
Yes.
Basically, everything we do to make our lives easier, safer, and more comfortable is making things worse for the biosphere.
Right.
The food we eat, the streets we walk on, the clothes we wear, the gadgets we use, the way we move around, and the pleasant temperatures we artificially create around us.
Dude,
While most people know about the
this
series,
video came out 2 days ago, everybody. I'm so glad to be the person bringing you this video. If this is the first time you have seen this, I'm so glad to be the person bringing you this video. Holy shit. It seems like they're gonna say it, man. It seems like they're gonna fucking say it.
impact of energy, beef, cars, and planes, many major polluters are barely ever talked about. The emissions leaking out of landfills are as significant as the emissions of all the jets in the air. More CO2 is released to run our homes than from all cars combined. And the emissions produced when making a new car is equivalent to building just 2 meters of road. So it is nice to switch to electric cars, but they won't solve anything if we keep building roads the same way. Fixing one small part of the industrial system is not enough. Each of the many different parts needs its own solution, and many of them aren't straightforward. But even where we know what to do, just because a solution exists doesn't mean we're able or willing to implement it. There are many grey areas in the fight against rapid climate change. The most prominent one is the divide between rich and poor. Emissions versus poverty. There is a clear connection between the prosperity of a nation and its carbon emissions. In other words, richer people tend to cause more emissions. So the key to fixing climate change is simply for the world's richest to cut back on their extravagant lifestyles, right? While this would help, it wouldn't make the problem go away. This is because 63% of global emissions come from low to middle income countries. Countries where most people are not living extravagantly, but are trying to escape poverty at worst and achieve a comfortable lifestyle at best. The unfortunate reality is that currently, escaping poverty and becoming middle class creates unavoidable emissions. So asking developing countries to cut emissions just looks like an attempt to keep them down. It's very hard to argue that a region...
Remember when I was telling you guys the other day, I was like, these aren't even half measures. These are like 100th measures. Not even that. I remember I kept telling you not even a drop in the bucket. You guys remember that show? When we covered this? 2 days ago? You guys remember this? Were any of you guys watching that show?
should protect their
This is
primeval
fucking-
forests and spend
this
money
is
on solar
unbelievably
panels instead of
accurate.
burning wood when it can't meet basic needs for significant parts of its population. But cutting back is not a popular demand, especially if the countries making these demands got rich by causing environmental damage in the past. So for billions of people, more emissions are a good thing, personally. When we forget about this, we tend to propose unworkable solutions.
No longer going to
Take
get
concrete.
Quarter of the hour,
8% of
10
CO2
cents per
emissions
fill.
are released by the concrete manufacturing industry. Okay, cool. Stop using concrete, right? But right now, concrete is also a cheap and easy way for growing populations in developing countries to build affordable housing. And there are many examples like that. Even rich countries aren't immune from disagreeing about rapid climate change solutions. Banning coal, gas and oil from the energy mix is slowed down by heated discussions about what should replace them. Citizens can be strictly against nuclear power, but also oppose wind or solar infrastructure in their backyards. In principle, all of these issues can be overcome, but there are things we don't currently know how to overcome. The most problematic one is food. Emit or die. We will soon need to feed 10 billion people, and we don't know how to do that without emitting greenhouse gases. Because of the nature of modern food production that requires fertilizers or manure, it's impossible to have zero emissions food. Rice alone emits so much methane each year that
It's impossible to have zero emissions food. Did you guys catch that? Listen.
practically equals the emissions of all the food production that requires fertilizers or manure. It's impossible to have zero emissions food without emitting greenhouse gases. Because of the nature of modern food production that requires fertilizers or manure, it's impossible to have zero emissions food.
So because of the way we have to grow our food, it's impossible to have zero emissions. People like who we saw yesterday, they promised to bring the technology that's going to give you zero emissions food. Which, hey, that's great. Just too late. That's all. It's not going to fix anything. I wonder if they're going to say that here.
Rice alone emits so much methane each year that it practically equals the emissions of all the air traffic in the world. What's worse is that the foods we like the most emit the most. 57% of food emissions come from animal-based foods, although they make up only 18% of the world's calories and 37% of its protein. And as people across the world grow richer, they want more meat. Traditional diets in most cultures were primarily plant-based with a little meat on top. But with the rise of industrial-style meat production and factory farming, meat has become a staple food.
Wow.
A regular indulgence in developed countries and a symbol of status and wealth in developing countries. Today, about 40% of the world's habitable land is used for meat production in some form or another, the size of North and South America combined. This is land we could otherwise allow native ecosystems to regrow, like forests in the Amazon, and suck carbon out of the atmosphere, but instead, most of it is used to feed animals. The available solutions are uniquely able to make everybody on the political spectrum, rich or poor, unhappy. Meat is highly emotional, and there are a lot of whataboutism arguments floating around, like comparing it to the worst sources of emissions.
Right.
In the end, it's pretty simple. Eating less meat alone won't stop climate change, but we also can't stop climate change without eating less meat. The same holds true for other things that are less crucial to our survival, but frankly not realistic to make go away, like air travel, overseas shipping, mining, and the production of devices that play YouTube videos. So what does this mean? Do we need to give up our way of life, and can the poor never achieve it? Can't some technology save us so we can continue to drive our big cars and eat meat every day? Solutions versus expenses. In principle, this technology already exists. Direct air capture of CO2 draws carbon dioxide from the air so that it can be stored underground or transformed into products. So why aren't we implementing it in every industry everywhere? Because with the technology we have right now, this would cost some $10 trillion per year, or half the United States GDP. This money has to come from somewhere, and currently no one is offering it. Just dumping these costs on massive polluters like steel mills and coal power stations would double the cost of their products, and so these industries that operate on very tight profit margins would go bankrupt. Getting the government to pay for it seems logical, but a lot of state resources are actually tied up doing the opposite, like subsidizing oil and gas, which seems counterintuitive but follows clear incentives. By artificially
I noticed he didn't mention war, which we spend the most of our money on our military. He didn't mention that. Interesting.
keeping fuel prices low, shipping and everyday goods are kept artificially cheap too, which has a major social impact on billions of people around the world. That creates political lobbies and incentives that perpetuate a cycle that makes it so hard to stop fossil fuel production.
Right?
Meanwhile, very costly solutions for a far-off problem, like carbon capture, seem like they can wait, as technically nobody benefits from it right now. Some argue that a move away from capitalism is the only solution to this mess. Others insist that markets should be even freer, without any interventions like subsidies, and some suggest that we need what's referred to as degrowth, and to cut back as a species overall. But the truth is, at least as of now, no political system is doing an impressive job at becoming truly sustainable, and none have really done so in the past. We also don't have the time to figure this out and do a lot of experiments. We must implement solutions now. Not just a...
We don't have the time. It's too late. And pay very close attention to what's about to be said after he says we don't have time. I have a feeling this is about to be the point where it all comes together. We've run out of time. If he talks about the fact that CO2 is the levels that we have produced are from 100, 200 years ago, and we don't have control over the CO2.
Have really done so in the past. We also don't have the time to figure this out and do a lot of experiments. We must implement solutions now. Not just to halt the release of all possible greenhouse gases, but also to start reducing the amount of CO2 in the air. It's too late to just mend our ways. We have to actively correct our past mistakes. With every year we waste, more extreme changes will be unavoidable. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Rapid climate change and the world we live in are complicated. So here is where you, dear viewer, come in again. Could you please fix the climate? A narrative of our time is that we are all responsible for rapid climate change, that everyone needs to play their part. Why don't you buy a new electric car? Why don't you replace your gas stove with an electric one? How about you double glaze your windows, stop eating meat, and switch off your lights?
Right? Do you remember this? Yes, 2 days ago, me telling you, look, buy our products, buy our products, buy our products. That's going to fix everything. No, it's not. It's going to create more CO2, and all it's going to do is make you guys wealthy. Buy our products, buy our products, buy our products. Oh, remember, they were talking about the business opportunities. They were talking about the products they were going to be offering. Hey, Billy, what's up, buddy? They were talking about the business opportunities. They were talking about the products.
Shifting responsibility from the largest carbon emitters to the average person, you, is much easier to do than solving problems. There's an extra bonus if solving rapid climate change sells a new product. If you don't have the money or time for these things, you should feel bad. It's an effective message because it's true. The quickest way to cut CO2 emissions would be if all rich populations on Earth drastically changed their lifestyles and if the people on the rise would not seek to achieve it.
Bullshit. Now there's the first piece of disinformation in this video, guys. I'm not going to let him get away with lying to you. Everything has been accurate up until 10 minutes and 20 seconds in. So at 10:20, he jumps the shark. Okay? We have no control over this. And he just said, oh, if we all got together right now and did it, yeah, we could drop CO2 levels. Bullshit. We're not going to drop CO2 levels. That's fucking psychotic. So what he just said is not true, and I will call him on his bullshit. Let's listen to him lie one more time.
Effective message because it's true. The quickest way to cut CO2 emissions would be if all rich populations on Earth drastically changed their lifestyles and if the people on the rise would not seek to achieve it. Favouring the climate over cut.
Oh, he said CO2 emissions. He didn't say levels. Okay, then he's right. Yeah, we could drop CO2 emissions. When's the part where you're going to tell him that won't make a change in anything, bro? When's that part coming? Okay, so he used a weasel word and weaseled through. He said emissions. That doesn't change a goddamn thing. Well, the problem are our levels. The problem are our levels of CO2, not the emissions. It's the overall level.
If you're able to watch this video, that includes you. But we've just witnessed a global experiment in staying at home, not using transport, and consuming less during the coronavirus pandemic.
Right.
And all it did was reduce CO2 emissions by 7% for 2020.
7%. Emissions, not overall levels. Emissions. You guys making sure that this is what you understand is being said here.
Not using transport and consuming less during the coronavirus pandemic. And all it did was reduce CO2 emissions by 7% for
weekly
2020.
Global CO2
Asking
emissions.
average people to solve.
That was just weekly global CO2 emissions, not the CO2 that's up in our atmosphere right now. Not the total amount of CO2 in our atmosphere. He didn't give you that fucking figure. There's no hope here, and it's almost like they're going to try to offer you some.
Of rapid climate change breaks down when we look at the scale of the problem. Personal contributions towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions are nice, but they are dwarfed by the systemic reality of global emissions. The concept of your personal carbon footprint was popularized by the oil producer BP in a 2005 ad campaign.
Really?
Arguably one of the most effective and sinister pieces of propaganda that still seriously distracts all of us from the reality of the situation. If you eliminated 100% of your emissions for the rest of your life, you would save 1 second's worth of emissions from the global energy sector. Even the most motivated person can't even make a tiny dent.
I hope you guys caught that. So if all the Graham Elwoods out there, you know, all the superheroes out there, all the citizens of Gotham out there that think that when they go vegan or when they change their personal lifestyle, that they're making a difference. I want every single one of them to listen what this guy is about to say. He just said it, and we're going to listen to him say it again. Listen very closely, Graham Elwoods.
Sinister pieces of propaganda that still seriously distracts all of us from the reality of the situation. If you eliminated 100% of your emissions for the rest of your life, you would save 1 second's worth of emissions from the global energy sector. Even the most motivated person can't even make a tiny dent. When we put together the dangers of rapid climate change, the scale of emissions and the lack of consensus over how to solve it, the challenge seems insurmountable. It can cause decision fatigue and moral licensing where you no longer feel bad about behaving in a counterproductive way. We have struggled a long time with this, which is why this video took us so long to make. So, what can you actually do? There are many different takes, and they are passionately discussed. We don't know who's right, so we can only offer you the Kurzgesagt perspective and opinion. Opinion part. What can you actually do? We need a different way to think and talk about rapid climate change. An all-encompassing systemic approach, nothing less than changing the fundamentals of our modern industrial societies. As discussed in frustrating length, the personal responsibility angle is overplayed. For systemic changes in technology, politics and the economy of this magnitude, we need to influence the people at the levers. Politicians need to know and feel strongly that the people care, that their own success depends on tackling rapid climate change.
You mean while they're busy focusing on getting all their, their votes and money from all the industries that they're collecting money from, right? That are already established in the old school methods and don't want to convert over to your fucking recommendations. And at the threat at carbon taxing and all that shit. Dude, we got Donald Trump coming back here in 3 years, man. I don't know what the fuck this guy's thinking.
When governments and local politicians are reluctant to change laws that affect their biggest tax contributors or campaign donors, we need to vote them out and vote in people who respect science.
Sure.
We need to hold them accountable for implementing
the science respecters, like Nancy Pelosi, the people who respect science, like AOC and the squad, the ones who vote to fund Israel Iron Dome. Instead of looking here and trying to improve things here in the United States. Oh, yeah, let's go send Israel $1 billion for Iron Dome. I'll sign on to that. They don't give a fuck about anything. They're just doing what Nancy Pelosi tells them to do. This is a fucking joke.
The most effective climate change strategies. Not waste our time with things like banning plastic straws, but by moving the big levers. Food, transportation and energy, while not forgetting the smaller ones like cement or construction. When industries fight against changing their ways for fear of losses or an honest attempt to protect their own, we need politicians to change the laws and incentivize the deployment of existing technologies and massively invest in innovation for the fields where we don't have great solutions yet. There's no reason that the profit interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. And if they still don't cooperate, harsh punishments and regulation need to force or bankrupt them.
Right, sure.
It's still unrealistic that change of that scope can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough. It's still unrealistic that Change of that scope, illicit, still unrealistic, still unrealistic, still unrealistic, still unrealistic, still unrealistic, still unrealistic,
Pipe dreams, motherfucker. Pipe dreams. You goddamn right it's unrealistic. That's why when he started this segment, he said, now for the opinion segment. None of this is factual. This is just like, oh, if only we could. That's why I'm letting this go without commenting.
Change of that scope can be forced onto a worldwide economy quickly enough, because many low-carbon technologies still need a lot of time and research, which means they're expensive. But more companies will make more efficient carbon capture systems, tasty meat alternatives, better batteries, cement alternatives, and so on, if there's a clear and growing demand. And if you're affluent enough, you can do your part by investing in these things right now while they're still expensive. These are the mechanisms that will drive the prices down later on. So this is basically what you can do. Vote at the ballot, vote with your wallet. There are too many opposing interests and complicated grey zones. In the end, if we truly get the systemic change we need, everybody will be unhappy about some aspect of it. Only if we all accept that some solutions will have negative impacts for us can we have an honest conversation and make progress. Everybody will be a little unhappy, and that's okay. This is the best you can do. You can deal with the reality of the situation and promote your priorities through your behavior and your actions. And while you do so, you can eat less meat, fly less, or get an electric car. Not because you should feel guilty if you don't, or because you naively believe that you alone can stop rapid climate change, but to do your tiny, tiny part for the systemic change we need. This video was supported by Gates Notes, the personal blog of Bill Gates, where he writes about global health, climate change, and more.
Systemic. We need systemic change. But Joe Biden said nothing fundamentally will change. And then you got Donald Trump for 8 more years. After this douchebag loses in fucking 3. And yeah, what do we do about China, Bill Gates? Exactly. What do we do about the United States military? You know, why aren't we using hemp printing? Printing with hemp. I'm worried about plastics filling up the ocean. We have no technology, man. We have just completely failed ourselves. But listen, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And I will see you guys maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. I'm getting really discouraged here. I forgot to check my channel. I'm supposed to check the YouTube channel, you know, to see the progress of it. I haven't done that yet this afternoon. I did it earlier today. I sit here and wait for this channel, for them to appeal, for them to review this appeal, and nope, it still says I've got 2 strikes. Motherfuckers. Appeal submitted on September 20th. So it's been 4 days and they haven't reviewed it yet. Medical misinformation. +1. Hey man, I'm +1 subscriber on my YouTube channel in the last 28 days. +1. 25,611 at +1. So how did I go up, 7 or 8 subscribers and I'm only +1? Think about that. How many did they subtract to get me down to +1? Should be at least +8, right, in the last 28 days? No, because they're constantly deleting subscribers. That's why it's only +1. when I was at 25,602, like yesterday or 2 days ago. You know, I was negative, 14 or whatever. So make sure you subscribe to my main channel. 25,611 subscribers. And go subscribe to my other YouTube channels, and maybe I'll try to connect the other YouTube channels, that are available back to Restream. So I'm broadcasting back on 6 channels until it. Hopefully, if I get this channel back, the big channel. All right, love you guys. Take care. I'll see you guys later. Yes, Hippie Chick, keep it open. You guys take care.